any of that. They got looped into the chaos and they weren't on the same page. Now they're going to be starting on the attack side of Split. And once again, they're going to have the opportunity, at least in terms of the pulls, aftershocks, that kind of thing, to play some really disciplined post-plant scenarios. Can they pull it off? Or are we just going to see a repeat of the second half of Lotus?
AG going to be feeling good about themselves here, but as you said, it's up to G2 to prove that they can pull it off. Woods, didn't think we'd be saying here.
Time to jump.
VCT is full of unexpected results.
It definitely feels like there's an element of any given Sunday when it comes to playoff games.
Yeah, force forwards here. This is, did he hit the footsteps? Oh, okay. I mean, listen, there's a snakebite at the feet on top of it. Jorgamo trying to take that time with the rest of his team's util here. Here's the reaction though by G2.
They've left Jonah P miles away, so now they've got a breach lurk planting. Trent has to take aggressive screens control with Leaf, which means he's not going to be in position for salvos.
Let's see what the read is here.
Jonah fighting in mid.
Yep, Jonah, okay, that's a critical one to win out here. Make sure you break that one forwards, and over the shoulders is Lead, and he's made that lane claim to some space into the map. Wrapping around from IC. Brings it into that 1v2. Jonah P is getting a big move on. It's a marathon sprint for him to try and be active into this one, and well, has he done enough? Anticipation from IC that it could be peak from heaven, but Jonah P, that's an aftershot from Nasawi. We were just talking about it. Discipline, buying time. 22 seconds left. Stun is avoided, but time is running shy and short of the mark.
He's got it.
He's got it again.
Every time. EG are good for it in these kind of scenarios. You gotta think, is that the play from Jonah P actually? The nade goes over towards heaven, so clearly Icy has no idea really where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And Jonah gives it away with the aftershock. Misses the stun. Couple of situations where the nerves are getting to people.
One enemy remains.
Jorgamo taking that peek through mid, through a snake bite. Probably a bit ill-advised, though it does set G2 up. Nature running on his own to try to clear with a single breach, flashing screens. Could have waited for a teammate. But Icy stays cool throughout it all. And he's 4-0 to start off this map.
And here's a G2 force.
Yeah, again, of course it is. Seeing this on both maps, because on the attack side, they lost the pistol both times. But managed to get the spike down and get a bunch of kills, so the money looking good. Good enough, in fact, to get Leaf a Guardian.
Looking to try and do this one again. Drawn forwards. Fuel and attack there, saved by Superman, so obfuscating quite a lot and just walking, stepping forwards. They expect this one. That is a cheeky angle. Icy. Don't expect to clear that one whatsoever, but this is a rapid take of the space by Valorant. Jonah P at his back.
And so now they're going to be set up to try to pinch in onto A. They know roughly where Icy's backed off to, but you got to be a little bit worried about Ramp. Leaf clearing that out with the help of the salvos, and now Heaven is the focus. EG already playing back towards it. That's a great stun though. Icy forced to commit into that fight. On top of it, another one out through CT. And Phantom delivered over into the hands of Jonah P. Flash forwards though, they want to take this fight, they want to get active. This is EG looking at least slice up the map, trying to define themselves here and set themselves up nice and pretty before the spike is even in play. Yay! With a nice little two-piece. Spike in no man's land. Leaf left to do it all, to pick up the pieces in a spot like this, but there's just no chance, no hope whatsoever. Stun. Lay it down early, slow to a crawl. Wall up, but a timing to be taken. It's all watched for EG. Swift dismissal of that force of G2. And a great start to their defense side again. This is almost certainly going to put G2 at a 0-3. They don't really have the money here, didn't get too many kills, didn't get the plant down. So their economy's not looking good enough to even invest stingers again, which is usually what they'll go for. How good were these flashes to fight back into Heaven? Two really critical flashes coming out from Nature. And he's got good reason to be excited. EG, one away from getting up to their Raze ultimate. This snowball could be devastating for G2. Doesn't show any signs of slowing down. Up and over the top, this is all players of G2 grouped up. The slow siege as well, looking to see if they can get access over towards the A site. TP into the back of the A site as well. This is Jorgamo, he cuts it up nicely. Clearing most of the way with a bit of salvos. Stun out on both sides. It's a refight attempt in the court for here. Derek, how the hell are you alive? EG barreling through and away. And the gun's into their hands, hold on, maybe an overextension. EG, not expecting and not anticipating it, round to the side, this is Jorgamo. Brings it into that 2v2. Rifle picked up, rifle gained, TP not committed, that's a fake, off to the side. Still no plant down, this is G2 looking for a bit more advantage to feel safe enough to plant.
And this game has been a real test of how EG play in the chaos. But there's a bit of quiet descending upon the map here.
Round to the side though, Jorgamo's good for it. Precision. 3 in a round already for him. His team needed a step up. And he's the player to deliver it.
We're looking at Icy and whether he can deliver a knife in the back for his former team. And there's Jorgamo, doing what he did early on Lotus 2, trying to stop EG's momentum before it can really get going. A 4K in this round, a labored kill onto Icy, it must be said, but as soon as he managed to upgrade to the Phantom, clean to finish things out. So the economy flips completely. It was G2 who were coming into that one with a trash buy, and now EG, who barely pocket change to play with. But Icy at least with an ultimate, so things could still get dangerous.
A lot of aggression from EG2. At least with the salvos, a bit of pressure. That's just to give Derek access to the orb.
It kind of looked like Jorgamo was setting up to flash his teammate there, but the idea is that the flash is supposed to land behind it, lead, so that they can contest A main together with it. But the push didn't come. I think they were concerned that maybe Icy would send it off rip, but that would have been an extraordinarily bold way of playing with the showstopper. Instead, EG probably just want to wait and see if they can get a free pick with the Bucky. Can Jorg find out where Icy is playing?
He's going to spot this one out. Still with the drone as well. That's going to be putting the pressure now down onto Icy, and he lets loose anyway. It's going to be the ult here into his hands. Round to the side, Jorgamo can't escape it. G2 surely behind him now. A few seconds left to try and play for, but they have to clear out these spots here. Can they deroute Icy from this position? Lying in wait with the Bucky in hand. And my God, he's going to be making it awfully difficult. Waiting though, Util in and around for it. It's a wide face leaf, barely able to get a handle on it. Tucked to the corner still. His position's going to be noted. It's a pit drop down. Oh, and then hold on. Leaf. My God, man! Pulls an ace out of bloody nowhere.
That's a ridiculous round. Stuck in a corner, flashed up. Pits just so that he disguises where he's playing, I suppose. He had a rough map on Lotus, couldn't really get anything done. But he's come out here with the iBuy power ace to go up 10-2 after 4 rounds. Absurd, but exactly what the doctor ordered for G2.
Exactly so. Make sure you follow iBuy Power on the socials. Plenty of rewards to be given out. Exactly what G2 needed. Rifles v rifles now. Slow walk up to the drone here, just trying not to reveal their hands, but that's going to be a stun. Locking down onto Superman, he's in a lot of trouble here, but most of the Util going to be narrowly avoided, not sent in his direction.
The salvos were really deep, so it didn't actually even clear out where Icy was holding. So they haven't actually cleared vent here. A smoke over towards Mail, and now Icy gives up that position.
Drone so far back by Derek, didn't get the full clearance out towards A main. G2 up through mid, it's an Armageddon and a stun, an attempt to try and at least get that kill, but it's a slapdash really.
Yeah, not good enough.
Barely put together there by EG, so can be wasted in terms of the ultimates. They were hoping to at least get a pick. Superman. What? Caught in that transition, and Ye now has to do it all from this spot. Near sighted. Smoke to play in and around. Teammates just trying to buy some time for them to get themselves in nature. And Ye to try and combine their might with a bit of a flash as well to compensate, but Jorgamo locks it down. The spike does need to be reclaimed at this point, and Icy has revealed his position with a bit of stray spam. He's praying for it. A pick to go his way. Quick TP.
Valen, he's in, he's out.
It's a getaway job.
Icy might have been hoping that he could defend that. But now he's got to win a very difficult 1v3. But these are the kind of situations that were slipping away from G2 on Lotus.
Icy's got to be left to consider though. Is it worth it? Money's not good. Still looking to make a play for it though.
mean, he'll probably poke and prod and see if he can get given a free pick, make things easier into a 1v2, but with nothing going, nothing given,
especially
he's going to back
Trent.
up. Yeah, and Trent's going to have those salvos. And I think really crucially, he gets himself back into a safe position. Think about some of the post plants that we saw from G2 on Lotus, and how they weren't able to just play that standard post plant kind of setup that you expect from them. Even if you think just back to the final round of Lotus, where Trent was trapped in tree and didn't have the timing and the safety to go into his salvos. In rounds like this, if he's got the teammates to be able to hold the line, he's doing all right. G2's really in control of this game. At least if you look at the scoreboard. They've knocked EG's economy down. And EG have only won the pistol and the follow-up. It kind of is similar to the first half of Lotus so far. Leaf, again, more pressure onto him. Stun, salvos early on, but he's not going to get caught by that.
Step with the pressure, bit of spam IC. Down to 75. Stuns are forwards. Flash on top of it, and that is just instinctual. Superman. Oh my goodness! Yeah, that's Jorgmo made into mincemeat to the back wall of mid. Yeah, he might be receiving a hell of a lot of pressure coming his way now. Under it. Supplementary util, seeking delay claim. How the hell has Ye got that? Snakebite dropped down to his feet, Superman. He's doing dirty work with that gun in hand. And EG somehow again get it done.
That is pure confidence from Ye. Most players in that spot would be backing off, backpedaling, right? Because they see a horde coming through in the Tejo drone and stuff. He instead sticks around, plays at default, and gets rewarded with a teleport from Valid. And he gets a freebie, and basically Spike delivered, Snakebite at the choke point. These players have to run in against a Bucky. And they're vulnerable too.
Oh my arc!
But again, it's that confidence from Ye that carries over from his dominant performance on Lotus that even sets him up to be in position to take the kill onto Valid. It's a freebie when it happens, but most players wouldn't even be in that spot. So 3-3, the economy be damned. It doesn't matter.
Time to jump.
A lot of emphasis here by G2. Trying to take that mid control. Different. Look at it though, up towards the top. Oh, Jorgmo barely ready with a rifle in hand, and he's just going to be spotting that one. Narrowly avoiding. Hello, pops your head up, says hello, at least with a shorty, and I don't think you're going to be wanting to contest with events too much.
At the same time though, Jorg's position is fairly safe. It's not like Icy's going to be jumping up there and actually taking a fight with a shorty. So this engagement may end up revolving around an A Heaven brawl. You see the players and the Spike heading over in this direction, so it's going to be a little bit of fake B Heaven pressure, trying to draw people over, which it has kind of done. You see these players over in spawn. Only 2 defending A right now, but Nature has a breach ultimate. So does Jonah P though, now that he's picked up that orb.
He's hard locked into the position. It's going to be Rolling Thunder versus Rolling Thunder. Handshaking across the site here. Slows it down for about a moment here with a fault line, buys it time, and Nature trying to get his team back into the fight as well. Jorgmo forwards into the fight with a shorty in hand. Anchoring smoke has played for, but a bit of spam. We'll definitely clean that one up. Nature taken out. Nade rebounding. Leaf is going to be respecting that. Spam slowed down to a crawl, but it's going to be safe. He can get back into that spot here. Stray spam as well, back and forth. This is EG. They're looking to get lucky. Couple of kills through the smoke might be exactly what they needed. Need more where that came from though, and the discipline of G2 is not going to let anything else slip. Doubled up, full control towards elbow. Superman could be staring in dismay. Best he can hope for is a couple of exits.
Post-plant positions, honestly, not that incredible from G2. They didn't have ramp control, didn't have screens control, but it doesn't matter much when Nature is dead. If Nature's going to be hard anchoring the site like that, you're not worried about the breach utility on the retake. And if we see in the replay here another look at that A exec, you'll see exactly what happened for G2. It was a double teleport into the site from Jorg and Valid. So while Nature's fully committed to blocking people in the choke point, the double teleport from the Yoru and the Omen just breaks that completely. Yeah. They're in towards the back of site. And what can the breach do? I mean, look at the position that Jorgmo is in while Nature is still thinking that he's got them blocked. And another round where G2 have control, win the rifle, and knock the economy down. But these rounds have been more difficult than you might expect for G2 to mop up.
Close. Getting a handle, though, I think, in terms of the tempo. A bit more control. Spotting two of these players out. Dimensional Drift is doing his job there. There's a sliders of corners that Jorgama makes certain to clear. EG trying to control Heaven, trying to control Ramp. It's going to be critical if they want to try and play this one into the retake.
It's always Trent that's ferrying the spike in here, which means that it's kind of tough for him to get back out of the site again. He's forced to play on site.
Locked into the corner here. That's an aftershock that misses, though. And that util, it's going to be hurting. Did they expect this one to be fully cleared out? Ooh, could be playing spoiler towards it. Double jump. Playing that crossfire. Set up all the way through and in through the back. I see. Shot out of the sky.
Toxins going up.
It's always
Superman,
danger, man.
He's left with no opportunities with a Bucky in hand. Trent even managing to get up to his ultimate in the midst of all of this. So G2 handle and anti-eco pretty nicely. Superman just looking to play exits at this point. Die to the spike.
Yeah. He'll get his wish. Or not. Oh, yeah, okay, Jonah P.
I mean, that's actually not his wish, right? Jonah P's been given another hold point. And this looks controlled from G2. Arguably more controlled than the first half of Lotus even.
It's very tempered.
But at the same time, man, it doesn't matter how many rounds G2 get on this half. Look at those legs in the air. It doesn't matter how many rounds that G2 get in this half. What happened on Lotus is still going to stay in my head rent-free.
Yeah.
And I'm just still going to be thinking, okay, does EG still have a chance to run this back with a ridiculous second half? And last time we saw Potter take attack timeout, the adjustments were really good off the back end of it. So she's going to take the first here on Split, just before round 9 kicks off.
And these are two teams, Josh, as well, I think that, well, at least for EG, their story has always been, I think, redemption, right? It's players that really it's their last chance before they get shipped off to the retirement home, potentially. They have to prove themselves, right? And listen, they've been upfront about that. They've said it many, many times. For a lot of these players, they're very grateful to Potter, to EG, to get a second chance to prove themselves on the big stage. Same could be said for G2 almost in this match as well, because they are looking to redeem themselves after losing in the finals of Bangkok. But they got to make it to Toronto in the first place, and it's EG who are standing against them.
Yeah, I think for G2 it's a different type of redemption, right? It's knowing that you let an opportunity slip and vowing not to let it happen again. But sometimes you can be so focused on a long-term goal that you mess up in the short term. And Josh RT has also been really candid about the fact that it feels like the team's in a little bit of a slump right now. And you can see from some of the mess-ups on Lotus, a map that they're usually pretty perfect on, that it's manifesting even in these really important games.
Decoy.
Jorgamo placing down that clone to make it feel like there's a little bit of mid-pressure even after he's left. So a flash, a clone, and everybody grouping up over towards A. Now this keeps these two players anchored over here towards B Heaven. So 3 players on the B side of the map as G2 exec A. The macro is good here. The calling is great from Valen. Look at his teleport into the middle of that Taeho ult. If there had been anybody on the A side, I think that would have cooked them.
Would have been curtains here, but a quick reaction from EG nevertheless. They hold on to control of Heaven and screens. This retake could be set up nice and pretty here for EG. A lot of ults as well to expend.
Ramp control, though, is nice. I like this post-line positioning from Leaf and Jorg.
Pound for pound with a util, but here it is. Tempo's going to be increased, and with Leaf already dropping, already Icy onto the fight. That's going to be miscommunication potentially here. Layering down the fire, layering down that lead. Jorgamo is going to do a lot from this spot, and it's not quite planned for him, and he's got a lot of targets to deal with. Too much to deal with, in fact.
The fight on ramp, not really the problem there. Everybody on G2 collapsing on the site. EG playing that retake style. And that's the adaptation that comes out of the tactical timeout, right? Every other round on the defense, we've seen somebody try to hard anchor. Whether it's nature or if they're able to get kind of, you know, Icy or somebody into the A site, they normally haven't had the full 5 people alive to be able to util dump and just play retake. And here, massive ultimates expended. G2 now have to make that slight adaptation. Valen has to realize, okay, they're playing off-site A more. That's their adjustment coming out of the tac timeout. So we can save utility and wait for post.
Pit's going to be throwing a wrench into the plans, though, I think.
I mean, to be honest, I think this mid pressure is mostly just going to be a fake anyway. They'll be content with pushing Superman out of the pit if they can. Superman bulb though, re-clears back in.
It's waves of Yuta being used to try and get him control and space back into the pit. Faultline and salvos of their own. EG now have expended some of the bigger tools to get that done, and G2 sight set now over towards B. This is a different direction. Jonah P's been holding on to his stun. He makes a bit of noise and a bit of presence is shown immediately. Smoke's going to be blooming up. Fake with a TP. A lot of util pulled out of EG.
But they've put enough of a pause here that Icy and Derek have not full rotated.
Yeah, looking for a safe spot to stand in here. He's got his own smoke to try and make do with still. TP in through the back now. This is going to be chopping and changing the minds of these EG players, wondering what is going to be happening next. All the way from the side, and ult expended. And only the one for his troubles. Icy is plucked out of the sky at a moment's notice here. Leaves it to Derek, and that 1v3 plant. Hold on. There is safety there. I was wondering. And I was worried for a second, but Trent just snaps to the side.
We didn't get to catch it completely in the middle of the round, but I'm pretty sure that 3K from Leaf was ridiculous. I mean, the opening kill looked absurd. Okay, it just catches Ye completely. Gets the kill onto a flying Icy as well. Just as he gets extinguished by the rocket. 16 and 6. A great map from Leaf. Rebounding after a bit of a subpar performance on Lotus, where he often rules the roost. EG knocked down onto an eco again.
Again, a lot of util Valin. He'll try and get the hell out of there now. That's a lot of presence shown by EG.
But the G2 are kind of on the wrong side of the map to do something fast as a reaction into B, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're still going to go for it.
Very spread out, looking to see if they can take a lot of that space up towards it. That's an off angle of Ye. He was hoping that somebody would just slack in terms of the discipline.
It's the same off angle, though, that he died on in the previous round. It's exact deja vu. That's how Leaf got the opener previously.
EG didn't want to flood in. They're holding the util out into the hands. A flash and a pop play all the way through here with a rolling thunder. Superman's trying to make the most of all of this one, and it leaves it down to Derek once more.
They're so much faster, EG, but it doesn't quite pay off for them. Derek's going to have to win a ridiculous 1v3.
Only with the stinger. Drop down. You'll be hearing this.
What's another stinger?
And he's paranoid. He's looking for a gun to try and make it that much more winnable. This is G2. Good control overall when they get into these spots.
Winning way more in the post plant, right? They're completely turning the tables, flipping the script on what we saw on Lotus. Their attack half looks super clean, pivoting around the map nicely, and once they get onto the site, they're locking it down. So whether that is what Josh RT talked about, more decisive with the first game plan,
Yeah.
he might have died from the fall damage at that point. I don't think you even needed to shoot him. And a small fist pump. I think it's just a sign of satisfaction. It's kind of weird being this favored in Americas. You can't really overperform. There's nothing to get too excited about. If they win this game, it's just going to be like, yeah, we were expected to do this for G2.
It's been a hard road being a top team, that top dog.
In a sense, you can only disappoint.
Yeah.
Which is a weird position to be in as a competitor.
Extra level of pressure. It's just going to be laid down onto your shoulders.
And so think about the adjustment in this round that Potter made out of the tag timeout. Nature over here on A. Does he decide to hard anchor the site, if indeed they go back to A, or does he play off-site retake? Because that off-site retake, where Nature still had all of his breach util, it looked a lot better. And the question for the mid-round is, do they bite on this fake? Because Trent is just throwing that drone out to make it seem like they might be taking A space. The spike still pretty heavily committed to B, and Ye on an aggressive angle where Leaf has killed him twice.
Will he get cleared though? That's the question. Oh, he's just spotted out, I think. Barely. This Jorgamo, Dimensional Drift, is going to be calling out most of this here with the armor getting in through and around. This is EG looking to at least push this one back.
Valen got in front of it.
Buy some time, and Valen is at front, but listen, Ye is on top of it. Forwards and around. Jorgamo, unanticipated to be punched up from that angle, and drops down and delivers Dev itself. Pit here, Aftershock has to be respected. Back and away. But two players left to stand here on the side of EG for our final round of this first half. You need a miracle. You need luck. It's not going to be on their side. Leaves it down to IC, making all the noise in the world, and G2 4 to stand as well to put a stop to all of this here. Just an impossibility at this point. IC's done well to avoid most of the util coming his way, but yeah, spotted out and dropped down here. It's an 8-4 finish. for G2 here. Familiar scenes.
Yeah, the sides flipped, and in that sense, the narrative also. But the scoreline the same. EG win the pistol, and then 2 other kind of rifle rounds. And that's all they're able to manage in the first half. But we saw what they did on Lotus. The run back was ridiculous. Yes, they're not going to be on the defense side. Yes, Ye is not playing Clove. But could they do it again?
We going up, up. We going up, up. We going up, up. We going up, up. Hands up, look to the sky. 'Cause we got enough to survive. Good times, man, we alive. That time I take is all mine. Top spot, taking control. Ain't no stopping me, I'm on a roll. New age prodigy, I got it all. Come for the ride, we about to let it go. We going up, up. Yeah, look at us, us. We ain't here for the rush, rush. Yeah, we going up, up. We going up, up. Yeah, look at us, us. We ain't here for the rush, rush. Yeah, we going up, up.
Well, it's been a bloody affair between these 2 teams here, and G2 were hoping that they could drag it over the finish line for map number 2 and earn themselves a spot as well to extend the play all the way to Pearl.
EG were not really able to find too much success on that defense side. They weren't able to play offsite retakes. They couldn't really force G2 in a position where the post plants looked awkward or chaotic.
Yeah.
G2 were in control, but you would have said the same about the first half of Lotus. I think the difference here maybe being that Ye is going to be playing Astra, which does not take anywhere near as many aggressive fights as the Clove did on Lotus.
And he was defining, I mean, listen, that extra element that was needed
to push them over the edge, to win rounds that should never have been winnable, that was Ye in map 1. And you heard, I mean, you heard it from Potter. She was like, yeah, I mean, you just want to get Ye comfortable and let him kill everybody.
Yep. Good game plan.
Maybe he can do it in the clutch here in some post-plant situations. And their post-plants should be incredible with both the pull and the salvos. But my question is, are they even going to be able to get into those kind of spots? And if it does go to Pearl, we might get to see the Ye jet, and then suddenly you're back into he takes every fight territory again.
Yeah, dangerous territory.
Might be thinking too far ahead at this point.
Both of these teams, this is going to be about the here and now, 1 round at a time.
And a lot of territory gained early on here. G2 seeding mid-control and a ramp control. So EG have actually taken a ton of space on the map within the first 45 seconds.
And 2 players spotted out towards Heaven, just by the drone, so G2 have an inclination, I think, that this is going to be leading over towards A now, with all that space taken, especially with these players deep pushed out. G2 have got a lot of control of the map. You can see him expecting the reaction.
And this, with how slow EG are playing,
Nature. He's
they're
got
right here.
Fly. Yeah, right here and now, and even a stun as well for the follow-up, just in case there's that safety net granted. EG need to pounce on this chance here. They have open access to the A site, but G2 playing and feeling like they are 1 step ahead. Deep Smoke is going to be obfuscating a lot, but it's being held in time, and Jonah P. Safety over the shoulder, watching for his teammate. Here's the running, and listen, he's going to be the one doing the gunning, and G2 trying to make their way forwards now into this side. How have they done this? But Derek's left to do it all still into the 1v2. Heroics ordered up. Jorgum already full sticking, full trust in his team.
And Leaf delivers with a 3K. Holds off that attempt at a clutch from EG. I think this round, more than any, showcased G2's ability to punish certain playstyles. EG are a very slow team on the attack. And look at this, they were set up for the A split and waited for 20 seconds maybe?
Yeah.
Whilst they had vent control, had a ramp control, they just paused. And in the meantime, G2 had already pushed out B main, taken the whole of mid, started flanking through sewers, and were right behind them, killing them in vent. EG are going to take a page out of the book of G2 though and force up with stingers. Can their success rate be anything similar?
They just spot that. Just jumping across here. Smoke's going to be Recall, hoping that they can bait a few of these EG players out wide into the open. No one biting. Salvos. The stun. Nade's going to be rebounding as well, so open access now, giving up towards vents.
Jogamo has the Outlaw, but there's actually only 2 players on EG that have light armor. Trent, I don't think, realizes how close Superman is.
And the timing! Wow, just snapped to the side, just in time. That could have been a deadly mistake to be making, especially against this EG team, looking to try and take the fight straight to them. That's a great stun. Slows down the approach here, and G2 just playing this one back ready to defend or flood in, whatever it takes. Still towards screens here, and EG have got access over towards the side at least. Here, forwards into the smoke. Stepping forwards, trying to dominate most of these positions. Nature is hard committed. Stunned to try and reposition here, but he's going to be in the danger spot, potentially. Damage done, lining him up. Off to the side, yay. A lot is going to be asked of him. He's paranoid, nearsighted as anything, and the aftershock at his back just seals it up nicely.
EG not able to find the same success with that force. And at this point, G2 should be sailing away with the map, you gotta think.
Changing plans.
EG got the plant and they got 3 kills, so they might even be able to get Stingers up or some kind of rough half-buy here and make a good go of it in round 15, but it's not going to be anywhere near as powerful as a classic bonus. It's G2, in fact, who are going to be able to take a lot of this light weaponry further forwards. It's a bit unlucky there, to be honest with you, on Superman, because I think he caught a great timing onto Trent at A-Ramp. Yay, couldn't get it done at the very end there.
Nice, guys, let's go.
All good, boys.
A bit of relief, perhaps,
Yeah.
in terms of the tone of voice that Trent is using there.
For EG, they realize it's a dampener on the spirits. Looking with barely anything. Coming into round 15 here with G2. Full advantage and lead. Bucky lying in wait. Some repeat there with the smoke soft. It's going to be a lot of util forwards and around. And okay, flick of the wrist. Does the job there, especially with the decay damage kicking in. Accuracy not really needed with the Bucky in hand. Making a lot of noise in the process here. Stunned. Oh, goodness me.
One enemy remaining.
And it's clinical from G2.
They're going to be able to take these light weapons forward into the next. Or force up if they want to. You're expecting EG to come into the next round with full armor because they know the Outlaw is there on the other side. So maybe we'll see some of these G2 players discard the Stinger or the Bucky. Or hell, just see if you can make it work like they did in this round. That shot is sublime. And then followed up by a collat. Monstrous from Leaf.
It's a silly game sometimes.
It certainly is. But isn't that why we love it?
Yep.
25 kills for Leaf.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, after
I mean,
15 rounds.
Scoreboard check, you've been seeing glimpses of it, but like you said, Josh, 25 kills for Leaf. A lot of them against some ecos, don't get me wrong, but
he has over
it's monstrous.
He has over 6 times as many kills as Valen does currently. That's crazy. But I mean, yeah, he's just dominating. And you do get these performances out of Leaf. They were super common at the start of the year. Early part of Kickoff, the first 2/3 of Kickoff, he was an unkillable machine. He was out there slaughtering people. Looked like he had walls on. But he cooled off slightly, and now will still give you a huge map where he dominates every now and then. And he can be the difference maker to just send G2 strolling forwards into the series and onto Pearl.
Exactly right. No better time for it for G2.
And I think, you know, this is a team that sometimes people have been looking at and thinking, are they chokers? You know, in last year, they missed out on 2 domestic trophies when they certainly were favored to win at least one of them, I would say.
Yeah.
And then after losing in the Bangkok finals, they kind of choked their first appearance at a global as well and bombed out. So I think there has been a bit of scrutiny on this team. And if they lose here, I think that narrative will go crazy. But right now, they're looking in control and composed. And this round is just about how much damage they can do to EG. The weaponry advantage is massively in favor of the attackers. But this orb feels like death is on the other side of it after what Leaf did.
Yeah, he's still got that Bucky.
Oh, he's stuck in vent potentially.
And pulled back potentially, I think, by this util. I think there's a pocket for him to play in yet.
Yeah.
So survived for now, but Vent's control given up. Icy, do you dare jump over and step past that threshold? He meets his demise. G2 up 2 kills already. Desperation now is going to be called for, but these EG players step up to the test and the trial once more, but you're going right back into Leaf, running and gunning forwards. Derek, at least with the trade, and they do have open access to that A site.
Yeah, he did a good job on the flank.
Armageddon even just committed here. Push forwards, that's Derek. He had to cross safely with a spike in hand. It could have been curtains for the round, so feeling the need to expend that ult.
Yeah, he's done a really good job trading out onto Jorgamo and then giving information about that player in heaven, a Teo ult, put them into checkmate. So now Valen's got it all to do.
Paranoia. Oh, what a shot!
That is a round from Ye. He only gets 2 kills, but he's instrumental in picking up that kill onto Trent as well with Derek's ultimate. Really good map control. And that's the kind of impact you need coming out from Ye. Up at the top of the scoreboard with Icy, but they're going to need a bit more of that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's filth.
That is fast. Oh my.
Now, they have done a tiny bit of damage to EG's economy. 1 light armor, 1 bulldog. But Jorg, they had wealth on the side of the defense, and now he's picked up an op. That's going to be looking over towards A main.
The pit in mid on top of it. Large amounts of util from EG, looking to see if they can clear out most of that space.
Superman has to be really worried about salvos and a stun at the start of the round.
Forwards to set up the kill, Jorgamo.
He's just got so much space over there because Superman has to play passively.
Yeah, I'm pouncing on a chance like that. Options are starting to dwindle now.
Hello.
EG, yep, spotting. Jonah P. Creeping and crawling off to the corner. Taking up most of that space. This is pressure by Derek, but he's feeling it.
Yeah, he could be the difference maker again.
Soundbait.
Look at what he's...
Soundbait.
Oh, yeah, Derek.
Soundbait. Derek.
Nice play.
Bait and switch. Smart play indeed. Maybe enough for them to wrangle control of another round. Stave off map 3 a little bit longer. 40 seconds.
My eyes on the minimap appealed for Ye to make a move, but he's just kind of been tucked in that corner for a while, and instead, EG have been putting the pressure on the pit. But I don't think you're really going to get Leaf out of here.
It's fake pressure again. I mean, Derek barely stepping, teetering forwards. G2 have already got B main control. They've got the read onto this one. Jorgamo does not really have a backup strategy. He needs a kill to get his dimensional drift. It all lies in wait, and it all leans on that. An opening kill potentially to see if he can get the hell out of there. Just misses up to the side. There's a flash up and over. Icy drops him. Dead in his tracks now. Plant is down. Safe around the corner. No spam to deny that one.
Double flank puts pressure on Derek. His salvos are back in 5, but he won't have a chance to use them.
Right from the corner, Derek twisting and turning, just spots out the 2 players. And what is the reaction? What is the call? G2! They put him in a vice grip in the blink of an eye. All the advantages that EG had dismissed, scattered, sent to the wind.
And there's a really nice adaptation from G2 to work against what EG are going for. EG's post-plant setup is to rely super heavily on the salvos, on the pull, and that means they need a safe place for Derek, a safe place for Ye. That's not going to be screens or heaven, it's got to be ramp. And so when this flank comes through, you're denying that safe space for the post-plant. It's a really simple but nice idea from G2, and it works out perfectly. They're up 12-5, 7 chances here to close things out and send us to Pearl, which will be one hell of a map to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Ye and Icy on double duelist potentially.
Bit of a ramp take here, called for by EG. Stun to set it up. Walk past for leave. Now you're in the danger zone there. Punished for it. Dropped down despite the weaker weaponry of some of those EG players, and forwards is called for. At least with this one stepping up and round to the side. Trent is left on an island. Jorgamo missed his shot, backed himself out and away. Repositions himself into sight now. He wants to try and spell spoiler out towards him. Yay, my God. Just cracks it open here. EG, round by round, is what it's going to take for them.
And this should have been one of the more difficult rounds to take, because their economy coming into this was pretty rubbish. They had a couple of stingers, managed to make that work in mid. You could argue a little over-aggressive from Leaf, but he was expecting that to be pretty heavy A ramp take. EG baited him by putting a player into A ramp, but still having two heavily watching the mid flank. EG already making those adaptations because they know that G2 are looking to push out and get behind them if EG commit to an A exec. So you're seeing
Cover going out.
a real nice evolution, even though they've only managed to pick up 5 rounds, even though they're down 7 in this map. EG are still thinking about, okay, what are G2 trying to accomplish? How can we shut it down?
Yeah.
And that's the mark of a team that's improving, thinking, all throughout the playoff run.
Yeah, still believing, I think, as well, that they can win the map. It's possible to drag it back.
It's very unlikely, but what does that matter to EG?
No.
When has this roster, when has this org ever cared about what's likely?
And expectations that we have coming into series for this squad, it's just a consistent level up from EG. Looking to drag it back 1 round at a time, as you mentioned. The chances numerous for G2.
It's almost inevitable that at some point G2, either by virtue of ults or a huge round from somebody, be it Leaf, Jorg, Trent, they're gonna get it done. The question is, can EG make it difficult? Can they push them to the brink? Can they maybe find the one universe where they get the comeback?
Flash held. It's a tepid approach here by EG.
They're hoping to catch Superman or Ye as they make the walk forwards. And Potter has talked previously about the strategy on attack being to get an op into Ye's hand.
Trap's going to be triggered here. Ye has to try and put a stop to it as well, to be that dampener, but it's just traded out, evened out, and it's quick getaway. All the way through sewers. Grab the spike and get a run on, but they're going to be going straight into Jorgamo. Airplane Bucky, seen this one before. EG already is icy, delivering death from above. Jorgamo tries his best to do damage of his own.
But I think Icy's done the job here, right? He took the fast timing through Vent, deleted both of the A-ramp players, and now EG have got themselves into a nice 2v1 with ults to work with as well. Derek's going to be able to get his Teo ult online. I mean, hesitate to say it, but it's almost unlosable for EG.
Valen will make it go. Spots out the first. Paranoia. Held and let go here with the salvos to try and slow down the approach. Watch for even a showstopper. I mean, listen, whatever it takes. Absolutely anything to try and drag it forwards 1 round at a time now. Can critique EG, I think. Maybe say that they could have been a bit more frugal. You know, it's going to take ults really to try and make this map a bit more winnable, but I think that just shows the pressure that's on these players' shoulders.
7 chances down to 5 for G2. That was an eco round. I think they'll be happy that they forced out the showstopper, as you're talking about, Brent. The op was in Ye's hands there, but they've not gone for it again. I'm not even sure that they had the money, actually, to go for it again. On the other side, though, Jorg's picked one up. So he's looking to try to get himself posted on A. Salvos early, so that you can leave the Yoru on this aggressive angle. And this is now going to allow Trent and Jonah to leave A main and go and help it mid.
Best chance in a long string of rounds here for G2 to try and take themselves to Pearl.
But this ult combo from Derek and Nature can be utterly deadly. If you find information on where a player is holding, breach ult into Teo ult could just gift you a pick.
They're looking for it. Full line. Narrowly avoided. Sidestep by Superman. Wow, okay. Straight in. Cape flourishing right behind him. He's going to get that open, and now EG looking to try and take control of the rest of this side here. It's ults expended. And G2, they've got some of their own. Valen collecting that kill. Derek, he's not going to be having a chance to really cause any more impact into this round. Hits drop down on top of it. EG trying to put a chokehold, a bit of blight now to dampen most of the side, and here's that Armageddon, ult to their own. G2 looking to make the play forwards into it. Jorg through the back here, and here it is, stun to collect. Icy quick with the trade as well, but they are dropping like flies, bodies toppling on either side.
They didn't get the plant down.
2v2, and time still an important necessity to play around here. As you mentioned, Josh, there's no plan whatsoever, but hunting, lying, the Trent will drag you all the way.
At some point here, somebody on G2 was going to pull out the play to seal the deal. And that 2K was crispy at the end. Despite despite EG's best attempt at making some level of a comeback out of that one, G2 were just too much in control. No run back in the second half possible, like Lotus. And we're going over to Pearl. I think a very, very fitting map to close this one out.
Oh, yeah.
Pearl was the final map for G2 of Bangkok.